We're going to go ahead and do a reading specifically for twin flames, for the divine feminine, for the divine masculine, to see what is going on. And today is a galactic activation portal day. We're actually doing blue night, and we're going to talk about that today as it is powerful for everyone, but specifically this is a twin flame reading, so powerful for twin flames and your situation, no matter what that situation looks like. So you're being divinely guided in this space, regardless of where you're at on your own personal twin flame journey. There's so much powerful energy coming in, and the veils go really, really thin. Now, I love today's galactic day because right now we have a big focus on manifestation. It's like the line between our dreams, our imagination, and the physical become very blurred right now. So take care with what you're focusing on today, as it can really, obviously you want to use it for the positive. You want to use these energies for the positive. It can set you so far ahead right now. So this is where, like, what's going on in your head, it comes into reality or enters into your reality. You're awakening and remembering that you are both the dreamer and the creator of everything in your life. And this includes your twin flame situation as well too. This includes your love life in the mix. But powerful energies, gonna bring a powerful healing, but also amplifying your manifestation gifts and abilities. And today's galactic day is very third eye energies, as we're kind of talking about, like what you're manifesting, what you're creating. And so oftentimes one sign that you can tell that your manifestations are working is seeing synchronicities and little signs, okay? So a lot of you guys might be manifesting union or things in the union. And one sign that you know is like, you put it out there, you're manifesting something, anything, you're getting little signs back from the universe. These are signs that your manifestation is obviously working and in progress and en route to you. So you might be noticing a lot of extra, I don't want to say, a lot of extra little signs, synchronicities, and signals. There's a powerful galactic frequency coming into the planet. And so with today's alignment, I'm always like, I'm all about action and making things happen. But with today's energies, it's actually like trying to get you to rest, slow down, and shift into a higher alignment with yourself and your own soul, or a higher resonance with yourself. And this is helping you because this is actually the space where we manifest or create anything out of alignment. And so these energies, I don't want to say pushing, are kind of pushing you to get a little bit more in alignment right now. And with the energies and the frequencies coming into the planet, so we can better integrate this, but also better harness it, bringing it into our everyday lives. But we're going to go ahead and start with a reading for the divine feminine first. Remember, this is just a general collective reading for you. Only take what resonates for your specific situation. This is why I encourage you guys to do the one-on-one phone calls or coaching sessions with me. You can do those sessions as often as you need them to. And it'll really, really help you, whether you're looking for some clarity, trying to shift a situation, trying to clear stuff, whatever. So if you're needing me, go ahead and book me on my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. I am an energy healer too. I have a ton of healings, clearings, and activations on my website to help you specifically on your twin flame journey too. So under twin flame, any of them for you if you're on the twin flame journey. If you're needing me, make sure you book a session on my website. So speaking of which, galactic days are like the best time to work with the energies, so we can integrate this into our everyday lives for better lasting effects and benefits too. So I love to work with these energies. You should be feeling really, really good today, right? These vibes. So a lot of you guys are starseeds. You might, obviously, for the people watching this video, you're on the twin flame journey. You should be really resonating with these energies. However, sometimes we do need to do energy work on these days if we're needing it, because they also stir up debris. And this is like what twin flame does anyway. So we'll start with a reading for the divine feminine side of things, but just know that on the twin flame journey, a lot of stuff is going to come up very fast. Specifically, you know, if you have things holding you back, things you need to see about yourself, whatever it is, anything can kind of come up. But it's meant to help you to release old energies, stagnant energies, and even the baggage that you're still holding on to. So remember that if you're facing triggers on your twin flame journey, these are areas you need to kind of look at within yourself, or to heal a little bit more, right? Especially if the same triggers are coming up. Pay attention to whatever these triggers are. You may be having triggers still come up that you're navigating within the situation, okay? They're meant to push you a little bit deeper. Okay, so for Divine Feminine, financial and material changes. And so a lot is happening fast. A lot is happening collectively, but obviously this is an individual reading. There is a lot of shuffling around happening within this awakening. So for the Divine Feminine, right now, you are going through shifts in yourself, who you are, how you show up to the world, and who you're actually becoming as part of your destiny unfolding right now within this awakening. So as we are waking up, you're going through a lot of changes, like in every area of your life, most likely, you're kind of, seeing all of this kind of integrate, we'll say, with these energies and within your awakening. One thing that's meant to come out of the awakening as you really heal and get into a higher alignment, this is where like mission, purpose, creating things on a soul level and stepping into your divine purpose and your divine mission generally comes after the healing part. Like there's different stages. And so this is why healing is so necessary. Now, the healing doesn't stop. We continue to work on our healing journey, but oftentimes when you have a spiritual awakening, you're healing. I think it's like twin flame mentors and you think you're healed and you have more to heal, right? More comes up through the journey. So twin flame is meant to be a very healing connection. Many of you guys are at this space where you've had to neutralize some type, or heal, I say, or you've had to work through, you've had it come up, some type of karmic energies through this connection, within this connection. This can happen for many different reasons. Sometimes it's old patterns being triggered to the surface, ego stuff, whatever it is. Sometimes it's you had karma to deal with and your masculine might have played that out with you. It could be simply old karma that you haven't really resolved and you're still working through. And so we have a lot of old energies are surfacing right now during this time, like now through the end of the year. Don't be surprised if old stuff is popping up, Divine Feminine, that you already thought you were like past or dealt with. And it might be connected to old, different past places in your life that you've already been through. So you might have some type of old resolve or old energies that are surfacing because of this twin flame situation that you're in on the twin flame journey. This might be kind of adding to it too. It just kind of depends on what that is. Now, these are positive messages, these first three cards, that, your destiny is to awaken and to really shift into becoming your higher self, to become this 5D blueprint that everyone carries, okay? Like you're meant to not only tap into it, but to step into it, to shift into it, to embody it here in the physical. And a lot of inner work is required to really making that happen, okay? So you have this 5D blueprint. Your union is part of that blueprint, your higher self, and many different areas that go into that. This is a really positive message that a lot of you guys have been healing a lot of relationship and love life blocks, why we're doing this video, but also financial blocks. You're clearing out scarcity on many different levels. And sometimes we don't always understand that. Sometimes it can be sitting and stressing about money and worrying about money, but sometimes it goes a lot deeper into the love patterns and things. So you're learning to really fill your cup. You're learning how to heal yourself. You're learning how to feel better in many different areas. Oftentimes twin flame kind of comes in and it's like, oh, there you are. And obviously it feels very good energetically, right? Until whatever happens. Okay, in that space of whatever happens, oftentimes the Divine Feminine is left to heal old wounds and things that you might have already had in your field. And so when that energy goes, like the energy comes in and I always call it the love bubble phase. It feels really good. When that energy pulls back and you're left once again to heal whatever comes up, oftentimes you're really feeling any lack, limitation, scarcity. And sometimes this is also not just money, it's around love and how we feel about ourselves and things like that too. So you've been healing because of this connection a lot of old wounds that, yeah, you might have known you had them. Maybe they were really highlighted during this connection and brought into focus so much more. So you're becoming more aware of it. You've been healing a lot of these wounds around, lack of self-love, limitation, within yourself. It could be old wounds, any ways you're not feeling like lovable, or you've been outsourcing, keyword outsourcing that energy from expecting others to fill that and not filling yourself from source and connecting more to source. So this has highlighted a lot of painful areas and old wounds for you, maybe even karmic wounds too. However, it's encouraging you to heal and to deepen your connection with source and the spiritual so that you can really bring more of that energy in to heal any of those areas that need it. Now, through this healing journey, you're meant to really, really, whether, and this could translate into different ways for different people. Remember, this is just a collective reading. Like if you've been having old wounds around money, worth, the masculine, this is very Venus energy too, so very divine feminine energy, wounds around the masculine, money, financial lack, whatever it is, these have been highlighted a lot recently. Like maybe you've been getting guided to like get it together. For some, this could be, you know, really looking at the work you do, what you do for a job, ways to generate money. Are you happy there? Are you needing more money? You know, things like this. Okay. So you've had a lot of that coming up, but because of that, you're really looking at these areas and you're looking at them differently. You're looking at yourself differently too, with more awareness. Because of that awareness, you're doing better. You're healing your finances. Maybe you're getting a glow up financially. For some with this awakening, it's like extra money coming in or money you didn't expect, or you have so much in your life plan, right? Okay, so it could be many different things that are playing out. And I love this because we're in the abundance right now. We're in the harvest. We went through the harvest moon last moon, but we're still in that harvest energy. It's like the time of year that we're in. So this is my material harvest through the more that you're healing yourself and the old wounding and whatever's triggered, you're going to start to flow a lot better in many different areas. Obviously, you feel a lot better within yourself, but also you're going to begin to show up different energetically, and you're going to begin to attract different energetically in a good way. So this is, you have some stuff destined that's happening. For some, you might feel like it's unfortunate if not where you want to be yet. There's a group of twin flames that are just, I don't want to say just beginning, okay, because some of you guys are at different places. Okay, so there's a group of twin flames that aren't where they want to be yet with their union, okay? We'll just leave it at that. And then, of course, some are obviously in union, so it just depends on where you're at in the process. So you might feel, if you're resonating with that and that's you, you're not where you want to be yet with your divine masculine and your union, and that is okay. Anything that is happening around this union, there's very destined undertones happening, okay? And so for some, you might feel like it's unfortunate. I don't want to say that, but it's the messages coming through. Like you've had some unfortunate things happening. You'll look at it like from the human view of like, this isn't, you know, going so great. I've had some things. It's all destined. And whatever is playing out, the script that's playing out, the narrative, the story, it's all meant to happen on some greater level. Now, for some, you guys are still in the healing phase of healing yourself in the catalyst of it phase. It just kind of depends. And then some of you guys are kind of through the other end and are in union with that person or back in union. And it just kind of depends on where you're at. So even if you feel like I've been having a lot of hard lessons lately, you know, rough stuff's happening, maybe, and I mean, with this connection, see it like there's a lot of destined things that are playing out. Just as the universe has brought you together with this person, it also orchestrates any separation that needs to happen too. And a lot of people will say, okay, well, I've been pulled apart from this person. There was outside circumstances or this happened. And I always just put it in the category of things may have happened past your control. And that is okay. Trusting the divine's hand between you and this connection, because there are things playing out. And something is going to flip. It's where I'm going with this, okay? Something is going to flip with this situation that's going to happen in a very destined, unexpected way for some. And it could be different of how that will manifest and how that will look for some of you guys. But destiny is not done with this situation or this connection yet. And that's something we learn with Twin Flame. So every phase serves a purpose. And right now, you guys are getting a lot more through with this connection. And because you guys are very connected right now in the astral, in the dream, we're doing that dream galactic day, that very dreamy galactic day. So you're feeling this person, you're picking up on things, you're getting more signs. And this is to show you the connection and just how powerful it is. It transcends everything we know in the physical dimensions, okay? So you have a lot of changes and challenges that have come up that you might feel like you've been on this twin flame journey. It's brought up a lot of growth. It's brought powerful internal and even external changes and shifts to your situation. But it's been feeling challenging, to say the least, for whoever's watching and resonating with this, whoever's on the other side of this reading, right? It's been challenging for you, everything that you've been going through. However, I think it's important to realize there's been a lot of powerful inner energy shifts that are happening. Today's energy reminds us that the outer is always a reflection of the inner too, of whatever's going on within us. It's always a reflection of that. That's why sometimes that inner work has to happen. So you're no longer playing out your fears in this narrative, okay? We have timeless elegance, and you're always beautiful to someone who loves you. And there is a block here. So maybe Divine Feminine, are you having problems with your own confidence? Or sometimes it's not self-confidence. It can be if you resonate with that, because we talked about self-worth a lot and like how you're showing up earlier in the read. But there's some type of block here. Maybe this isn't for everyone. It won't resonate. So just take the messages that are for you. Maybe you've lost, I don't want to say faith, but you've lost confidence maybe in your masculine or this situation in some type of way. This won't be for everyone, but there might be some block there of how you feel about yourself being projected into the situation. For some, like fear-based narratives and thoughts have thrown off or skewed things. Or how you feel about yourself, or your mask is kind of leaking. I say leaking into the situation with your masculine. So you're being guided to do some type of solar plexus work. Okay. For some, and this won't resonate for everyone, but for some, our solar plexus is, for the Divine Feminine, very connected to suppressed anger. Okay. Like, yes. And when I think about that, I always think of like inner child, past situations. For some, it might even be, this isn't for everyone, with their masculine, of like how things went, where you've had a lot of emotions. Okay. Old emotions, we'll just say. So it could be connected with old emotions that may have been triggered from this. Some of you guys, you know, Divine Masculine triggered you, and it's like it opens Pandora's box of like the X-Files, I call it, or inner child trauma that wasn't dealt with, because it's like there's some type of pattern still going on within you that are still kind of playing out in your love life, but it's old suppressed emotions. And the more that you heal your solar plexus, the more that you're going to let go of old repressed emotions and energies that we're trying to let go of, but also you're going to show up more confident and more secure and confident with this connection with this person, okay? And we have exploring, testing the waters, and still looking for, okay, so you're still trying to see if this connection is the connection. And I always joke around and I say, well, time will tell with this, right? Of how it goes with people, with these situations. However, you're, maybe for this person, you're kind of like, this is like just putting your foot in the water and trying to see if it's hot or cold. You might be kind of feeling out this situation still. Okay, maybe something has happened and you're not sure this person's feeling still. For some, you're kind of like seeing how your masculine is with you in some type of way, and we'll keep going and we'll get a little bit more of a read like that. So it's like for some, you haven't fully opened up, you haven't fully dove into it, right? Into the waters. You're kind of on this shore, like, I don't know about that. And so you're kind of teetering around this connection in some type of way and kind of still trying to feel it out. And so this is from where you're at now. You're still kind of trying to feel the energy around this connection. For some of you, this might translate into like, you know, seeing how your masculine feels. You're real wrapped up in their emotions. Or if some of you guys are navigating distance or separation, you're able to easily tap into how your Divine Masculine feels and feels about you at different times. So you're kind of testing like how it is, okay? So this isn't for everyone, but if you're in a separation, this can indicate reunion checkpoints where, you know, the universe is also testing you in those spaces when you have interactions with your Divine Masculine, of like how it's going, how healed you are, how triggered you get, right? Of like where you're at with it. Remember, every reunion checkpoint, seeing your person, has the potential to take you into union, okay? There are beautiful portals that can open up into union. Just kind of depends on where you're at with it yourself, okay? So And this is my awakening energy. I love it because it's different. It's angels, but it's very Alice in Wonderland, right? You are going down the rabbit hole. You're having a spiritual awakening, and Twin Flame is meant to accelerate that for you. It's almost like the ultimate amplifier, the mirroring effect of the energies. It can shine a light on. We talked about negative things that need to heal or positive things, obviously, right? And it can be like kind of a mixed bag of both. It's here to help you with your awakening. And a lot of people can get lost lately on the Twin Flame journey because a lot of you guys are expecting the Twin Flame to take you back into the Matrix. Like I always picture the Matrix template that we're trying to actually heal from and get out of. And so this person might be a little bit different than your usual type, or a little bit unexpected in how they've come into your life and shaken things up. They're meant to shine a light on the karmic baggage that you're still holding, because this is what Ascension is to let go of our attachments and baggage and wounding and things that we're holding on to. They tend to step in and accelerate that process, and it just kind of depends on where you're at with that. So for some, this person has played a major role in your awakening. Notice that when you look at your awakening and when it's occurred and when your Twin Flame comes in, they're here to play an important role in your journey in some type of way. So them coming into your life has acted as a catalyst or an awakener for you. So you could have been awake like a lot of people, but they've really awoken you on so many different levels. I always compare it to some of the fairy tales, right? Like they come in and awaken you in some level. So they've come in, and this has been, I don't want to call it their job, but it's the effect that they've had with your awakening of helping you to wake up and integrate more. Okay, so, and we have believe in miracles, and this is believing in higher powers and energy shifts at work in your life. We're going to see so many different shifts happen as we are, I hate to say it, getting ready to wrap up 2025. You're going to be at a much different place by the end of the year. I don't want to say it. We're getting ready for another retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and we just, as things are going to unfold energetically the rest of the year, you're going to be at a very different place in a positive way for once, entering into 2026. And with this Twin Flame situation, no matter where you're at with it, a lot of you guys have so much clarity. You know who your Twin Flame is. You know who this person is. You kind of know what's coming up or what's being challenged, what needs to heal to shift this into union. So expect some positive energy shifts coming your way, Divine Feminine. A lot of these cards are very positive. Okay, hello from the other side. The veil is very thin right now. A lot of you guys are awakening to your psychic gifts and psychic potential, and maybe even mediumship gifts. It just kind of depends where that is. You're definitely picking up on things from, as I call it, the other side. Sometimes this is as simple as angels and spirit guides. Sometimes it's a little more complex, like you have ancestors around you and even loved ones that are guiding you, that are really, really trying to help you during this time, through your healing process, through your awakening process. They're sending you signs or giving you messages, or this is like dream messages and things like that too. Now, because this is a Twin Flame reading, a lot of you guys are really picking up on your Divine Masculine's higher self, especially, and this is all the time, but if things aren't going great in the physical, you're not together, your Divine Masculine's higher self is around you and guiding you. And so when you feel their energy, when you're picking up on so many downloads and messages and signs specifically for you, you're noticing that their higher self is around you very heavily during this time and helping to guide you and keep you on track on your side. I feel the Divine Feminine is so powerful energetically once you are healed that you will help to shift this situation. If in separation, it does come down to you, by the way, doing the work and shifting things. Yes. And so it just kind of depends. Your Divine Masculine's higher self is around you, guiding you and really, really helping you through this process. This means you might be having dream messages, encounters, seeing signs. You're really seeing the magic within the connection very strongly right now, because we have the Magician, okay? And this is in reverse. Something is zapping you from your full abilities right now, I would say. And it's nothing external. It's always just within some inner beliefs, inner work, subconscious patterns being highlighted, and it can feel a lot. You're going through a lot right now, okay? Some of you guys have learned the hard way, and twin flame is an energy. Even though they're going to appear as this person in our life, it's always energetic, so we cannot manipulate energy, okay? And this happens like, as someone obviously that channels source energy, you have to do the work to connect with that energy and strongly and stay connected. And it comes to us when we're in these higher states and we're in this higher frequency. Twin flame is no different. You ever notice you have the purges and spirals? They tend to distance back away, maybe even go away at the times where you need it. Because I see so many twin flames going through this, like they were being really negative, projecting a lot on their masculine, very unhealed, you know, putting all their fear and, you know, negative beliefs that were very in that energy. They go away. And then, you know, of course, a lot of people get stuck in the cycles of like blaming the masculine, but in reality, that you might need to heal more if they're not around. It depends. Everyone is different, okay? But my point is that when you're in alignment and when you're doing great, they come back in, they show up. They're trying to do union with you, and they want it just as much as you too. And so my point is, with this upside down magician energy, you cannot manipulate the situation. The only way, as we say, out is through and doing the inner work. And so some of you guys have tried to maybe manipulate this person to meet your needs, because this is very common with, you know, attachment styles rearing up, whether it was spending more time with you or doing things for you or making you feel better or using their energy in some type of way. And the solution was always to connect more with source. And as we talked about in the beginning of this reading, because it's really resonating with my opening messages about really going to source and having to do that, because a lot of people, we see a lot of, I hate to say it, people jumping relationship to relationship, and they never sit alone because they're using the other person energetically. And connections like that, usually one or both ends up really drained and it doesn't work out, okay? Because it's not healthy. We see a lot of unhealthy relationship dynamics. Twin flames go through certain stages, whether together or apart, so you can get really good within yourself and energetically, so that you're not looking to this other person to be your source, because they're not capable of that, okay? They can't energetically sustain it. You can short term, I'm sure. No one wants that, right? But it's vamping and draining. And I know a lot of people don't do this consciously, because then it would be another level, right? But unconsciously, oftentimes we've been looking to people to fill our inner needs, and this is why we come up short in relationships. So this is a different type of connection, which is encouraging you to get spiritual, nurture yourself and your own energy, do things to fill your cup, nurture your spiritual connection, make sure you're doing things like energy healing to really keep that connection strong. And make sure that this is the thing, because a lot of twin flames do that in separation cycles, you know, and I'm not going to go into the many various tactics, right? Of like posting just for your twin flame, posting sending sexy pics, right? Like trying to, you know, kind of have them come in, when in reality, alignment isn't like, I don't want to say looking good and, you know, whatever. It's actually feeling good, like within yourself, to magnetize this person. So sometimes people can get stuck in cycles that kind of push away and repel, not trying to, when I think we all just want to be more magnetic. And in order to get more magnetic, we had to like do that inner work and kind of connect more with source. So there's something here where if you've been kind of trying to like, I'm all for manifesting, but if you've been like trying to manifest the whole time and you're not seeing the results, it's like, okay, more of your spiritual connection, more getting good on your own, healing any lack we talked about or whatever it is, any blocks. And so it kind of comes down to the energy with this and how you're using your energy during this time for this connection. So we have the King of Cups, okay? And this represents your divine masculine in this situation. I love it because it is the water signs. And so when we deal with the King of Cups, this is someone that is, I always say, an empath. They care a lot about you. They might have a very calming, you know, energy to you. Just kind of depends. But it's less about the astrology sign and more about the archetype of this too. This is someone who's in love. They know they're in love. They're very empathic and sensitive to your energy, divine feminine. And you might have noticed that. So when you're not regulated, they have a hard time with that. A lot of times, some of these, I say men, have a hard time regulating their own emotional energy, let alone yours. And this goes down to maybe this person's toxic trait is expecting the masculine to keep them regulated or chilled out or using them for that way, not trying to. I don't think there's that conscious awareness at all when I'm tapping in, like on the subconscious level. And so this means that if you're having a purge, which happens all the time with awakening, you're purging energy, you're dealing with a lot of energy shifts yourself, you got healing coming up, you got old baggage coming up. Maybe this person is not good at dealing with some of those areas of you. Okay, and I'm not meaning that in a mean way. They might not be able to deal with all that extra emotional energy or whatever it is. You might notice that when you're not good, they're not great either. Okay, and that's the mirroring effect because they give you what you give, right? Okay, so if you have those kind of issues coming on, it might be kind of mirrored back through them with how they are with your vibes, okay? Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and interesting cards to kind of wrap it up. I have my last two cards. Some of you guys are not putting in as much work as you could because when this is upright, it literally is, it kind of mirrors for me my Queen of Pentacles energy. It's very abundant and like the garden and like great energy, but there's something here. And once again, this is coming back to the same issues we've been talking about, not being stable energetically in some type of way and lacking confidence. Okay, so this can indicate having like a lot of focus on like money, the material, but I haven't mastered it. There's something there. You're not doing as much inner work as you should or manifesting work as you should. It just kind of depends. And this might be affecting your union, okay? Because this is a union reading. And so when we have this is Ten of Cups upside down. There's a block here, and this is like one of my happiest cards in the deck. This is like happy union. It's literally the union, maybe the kids, whatever you got going on with that, okay? But there's some type of block here. So there's some type of, you're not happy. For some, this could be separation, okay? Maybe it doesn't have to be, but there's some type of disharmony. How funny, because today is our galactic activation portal day. It is guided by harmony. We're talking about using today's energy to get in a higher frequency and of course alignment. So there's something, you're not happy. Okay, this is my card. You had I'm going to just try to be gentle with this message. You had an interesting origin story, okay? If we go back to your childhood and whatever story, please remember you just stepped right into it most likely, but we imprint and we take these very seriously. They become our stories. Your childhood, there's darkness there. You had dark times. It could be, this is my family secrets and toxic energy in the family home. Some of you guys had to deal with a lot of traumatic experiences, and most likely this is connected with lack of love in some type of way. This could go down to neglect, emotional neglect, abuse, whatever it is. This is like kind of, it's my Scorpio card, but in a little bit of a different way. Okay, so you did not have the best childhood. A lot of times people that are going through an awakening, you might have taken on families with more unresolved karma, trauma. I feel it plays a role in our awakening, you know, whatever it is. But this is affecting your union now, right now. So some type of family issues and unresolved inner child trauma still coming up. And that goes to the expecting this person to heal you or be the magical fix, right? Or to make you feel better. And that's what I have a lot of clients say. They're like, you know, if my divine masculine would just hang out in the separation, would just hang out with me, I would feel so much better. And I'm like, I know, that's the point. Like you have to feel okay without them. And that's the paradox, I call it, of twin flame and, you know, to get through it. So we have to kind of go through some of these spaces at times. It just kind of depends. And so this goes down to some type of inner child wounding that might have become patterns within your love life that you are now healing. You're aware of them. You're closing it out. You're like, okay. And really healing, I call it the distortion, blocks, whatever it is from childhood. So there's something throwing off your union, some type of inner child wounding on your side, divine masculine, and it's affecting how you're showing up. And, you know, and opposite of confidence is insecurity. You have some type of hidden insecurity. Maybe your twin flame does see it, but For some, you might even be hiding it. Like your twin flame might think you're really, really confident in how you show up, but you might still have some insecurities that have now become relationship insecurities. This is all about your union, okay? Things you're healing within this union. Pay attention if this union, this person, this union has triggered insecurities within you. These are going to be deep, deep points for you to heal and look at and what they are and where they come from, okay? So some type of rough childhood might be still kind of coming up and presenting as something's still there, okay? And that's okay. I think a lot of people have been through that, but just healing something from your past still that's kind of creeping up into the union and might be affecting your energy now and how happy you are within this connection, okay? Okay, we're going to do a reading for the Divine Masculine and just kind of see what is going on now. Okay, we have a lot going on in your head, like, right? The mental realms. Okay, we have a lot going on in your head. And with this, it's like, pay attention if you have a lot of negativity coming up. We call that purges. That might be happening on the mental level for you. This might be stirring up a lot. Like you can't make sense of this connection with logic. You're starting to feel it. Your ego might be kind of rearing up and talking you out of it. You know, whatever it is, this could be draining, okay, for you and your own energy. If you're stressed, you're worried, you're constantly thinking about this. Oftentimes connections can trigger a lot of this stuff, okay? Like you think you're good and then you're in a connection and it's like the fear comes up. So the closer you get with people, old shadows can come up and fear can even come up. So make sure you're not draining your own energy, focusing on too much negativity. I get, once again, we'll use the Pandora's box. It's like opening Pandora's box and it's like all this stuff come out, right? It's like that, okay? I get that you're going to have stages and cycles where you're purging out old energies as you're elevating and old stuff can come up. But just make sure that you're staying out of any negative thoughts and things because it can be draining for your energy. Okay, you have met this person and you're in love, like with this. Things are moving fast and you have a lot of positive movement, okay? Like, but you're very affected by this person. You love this Divine Feminine. You know they're your twin flame. You know the connection. Maybe you've always been in love with them. Maybe you've always had some type of knowing or psychic sense since you saw them. They've probably been shaking things up, but things are actually going smooth and in a positive way right now. So if you've been having a rough time with them, things are kind of leveling out. They're getting better, okay? So strong connection, you know that. It's brought up a lot and a lot within the thoughts. The ego doesn't like it. You're in love. It's good for your heart, but your ego, at times, this might be rough on your ego, okay? From these cards. Okay, you're being guided to make plans with this person. And this is like, prepare for the rainy days and stay flexible, but you're being guided to like, really, really make a plan. And things can maybe not go according to plan, but at least when you have that plan laid out, becomes your path. And I love it. I love goals, plans, right? Having a sense of direction. It anchors in to our everyday lives, giving us a sense of direction. So maybe you and your twin flame have been talking and not trying and you're planning a future together. And these are timelines that are coming together when you sit and talk with your twin flame and, you know, you start to have this stuff. Some of the masculines are making these plans and the Divine Feminines, like, they're telling them, I'm going to do this. I'm going to live here. We're going to live together, whatever, right? Okay, this kind of stuff. So you've been talking with this person and made a plan in some type of way, whether that went according to plan or not, but this is powerful and it gives you your union a sense of direction because maybe you didn't have these ideas before and you start to really talk with your Divine Feminine and together you're creating powerful potentials. Okay, we have some type of block here and this is the Winding Road card and it's like, okay, having a long way to go or taking many detours. Lots of blocks have come up. Like, that is a blocked card, by the way. So maybe the blocks, like, that is the blocks. Okay, so you had a lot of, like, blocks coming up. Things didn't go as fast as you wanted. Things went different than you expected. There were a lot of twists and turns. And you got to remember, no matter what's come up on the journey, it is meant to. Everyone's twin flame journey looks different as to what they need or what they need to get into union. The second you have met your person, your twin flame, you're working on coming into union if you're not in union. If you're in union, you're trying to stay in union, right? So no matter how it looks in separation stages, you're actually working your way back together or together, okay? So there's some type of blocks that have come up. Maybe it's, for some, it's more work than you thought. Maybe it's really dredging up stuff. It just kind of depends. So you have a really, really strong attraction to this person, okay? You have great chemistry. You guys are able to manifest a powerful love and a powerful love story with this person. I think you know that. You probably feel very magnetized to them. You want to be around them. You spend a lot of time with them. You're spending a lot of time talking or being with them. It just kind of depends. So there's such a magnetic pull. When you're in alignment, it even gets stronger. You're like, okay. And a lot of people are like trying to figure that out. If you're not for everyone, because that's the other side I just did, but runner chaser dynamic, repelling energy, pushing them away energy, okay, scaring them energy, it just kind of depends. So to get into that magnetic, where your magnets coming together and kind of orbiting each other and doing this, as I call it, dance and teetering around each other, magnetic energy, being in alignment. And we're getting in alignment with these new energies too, like coming into the planet, powerful energies for that today. We have love's wings, and I'm loving the art today on these cards. Love's wings, put aside your differences and soar to the next level. You and your twin flame may be very different. You might come from different worlds, different backgrounds, different childhoods. You might have very different lessons that you're working through, but at the core, you are one. You're literally two energies divided, I love that, on the soul level into this where you are today, okay? So you might feel that you have some differences, and we can see that, like maybe very different lifestyles that you're trying to fit together, or like different people, right? And this is what makes you good, because you actually are very, very complementary together. You're going to find out that you probably have, and I love this about twin flame, when you sit and talk about the life you desire, the life you want, you're going to have very much a shared vision, shared purpose, and you're going to have so many ways that you just fit perfectly together. I see that with twin flames when they start to work on projects together and ideas and like whatever it is. Trust me, you go perfect together in so many different ways, but you might be too focused on the why this can't work out, or the differences, or they don't get you. Those are being bridged right now. You're working on clearing something to come together to the next level and together, okay? So we have lean on me, and I love this because it's like, this is what I was talking about. We can just say this is divine feminine and your higher self, right? But for some, this is you. For some, you guys are really helping your divine feminine, and like you might realize that there could be triggering that's happening, and it's like, okay, well, they can't, every trigger is the opportunity to heal and release an old pattern that has someone stuck. So we don't like being triggered. In fact, we like to spend our entire lives avoiding triggers and people that trigger us, even though we're freeing ourselves from a pattern when we have a trigger come up. So yes, it could have been triggering experience, but you're supporting this person and learning how to maybe guide them or be there for them in the way they need, in some type of way. So this is your higher self is very active around your divine feminine. You might know that. They're probably getting a lot of signs, and you're getting signs from their, we'll say their higher self. So we have a lot of like positive messages coming through, signs, confirmation of the connection, understanding the connection on a deeper level, and wanting, for this divine masculine, you're wanting to be around this person a lot more. All right, so we have a lot of gifts that are activating out of this. You're healing a lot of stuff. We talked about that, the old trauma, the old wounds, but as you're seeing so many blessings and gifts and like higher support show up and like guidance, and it's mind-blowing when I see these cards and I'm kind of tapping in energetically to what's going on. You are raising your vibration, you're lightening your frequency, and so this is all about us holding this light coming into the planet and really lightening up our frequency. So because of this, for this person, this divine feminine has acted as a major catalyst in your awakening as well too, but they're helping to shine a light on shadow aspects, wounds, darker energies, and you're shifting this stuff, you're shifting this, and you're going up higher, okay? And you're going with them, you're going to that next level every time with them. Okay, so for this divine masculine, you might notice they're really mirroring the progress you're making. You're feeling better, you're feeling lighter, you're going to that next level of your life. They've been there with you. They're coming with you, okay? You're doing this together. Remember that, because we have a lot of interesting stuff happening. And we'll start, like some of you guys, you're walking between worlds. You're becoming multidimensional. We have my Two of Wands, but you're learning how to move differently. Like, and this is my 3D, I hate calling it the 3D, but 3D to 5D card where you're becoming really multidimensional. You know, you're literally beginning to navigate the two worlds. And this is the physical that we live in. Obviously, we live here, and staying grounded in the physical, but also learning how to walk within the spiritual dimensions as they're opening up to us, keyword opening up to us with our awakening, and integrating into them. So you're integrating a lot right now because of this connection. For some, this could be your actual, if you're like, and it could be with them, but if you're in separation, you're learning how to navigate your own experience and this experience with them. It's the twin flame pull. You're like in two places at once right now. How I'm trying to explain it, like you might be in the physical, but the twin flame has you in another realm, or when you're with your person, when you're around them. It just kind of depends. It's very much lifting you up into these other realms, this connection. And so we have the King of Swords in reverse. And this is like, okay, usually it's very, once again, it goes back to the logic and, you know, keeping the emotions out of it and processing things in a logic way. So because this card is in reverse, there's some type of block here. You might have been someone who like was taught at a young age to switch off your emotions or not to show too much emotions, or it makes you look weak, or, you know, whatever it is in programming. So you're undoing some type of programming, and it could have just gone back to society or childhood programming and how you were raised. And so you've been very in the logic, and this connection is taking you into the emotions. For some, this might be unblocking your emotional pathways or currents, or your emotional body, healing something there. So for this person, you're learning how to stay balanced between your logic, okay, your ego that talks you out of everything, and the emotions, how you feel. You're finding a balance between the two, and this has not been easy for you. We have the Tower. You've been through like a lot of change, and I love this card because I'm just reminding you that both people are falling out of that Tower too. Twin flames, right? Okay, but you've been through a lot of upheaval. Like some of you guys have been through a literal shock to the system, soul shock, but you're clearing away. This is all for this masculine, a lot of mental stuff. You're clearing away old beliefs, and you're needing to stay open. That this connection is helping to open you up and to transcend the ego in some type of way, to see this person differently, to see, I say and feel, see and feel this connection differently, to see the world differently. It's almost like, you know, and I always say it's the woman with the blindfold, but it's almost like you had the blindfold on you when you were asleep, and it's just being ripped off, and you're seeing things differently, and you're beginning to see your life, the world, yourself, your twin flame differently in a good way. So you're doing a lot of ego, clearing away the false self, and like staying more open and opening up to new beliefs that are coming in. But some of you guys have been overdoing it. You've been literally carrying everyone's problems like around you. This is my like, you've been an empath. You've been taking on a lot of energies not your own. You've been made to feel bad when other people around you feel bad. You feel bad for them. You might have been stuck in like victim rescuer cycles, or, you know, always feeling like you had to do something. So there's a difference between being super empathic and like feeling in others' pain, and then there's another of like, it's not yours to take on. People have to kind of do their own lessons. So it's like some of you guys have had a lot of cycles in your life where you were taken for granted. You were used energetically, probably for your healing abilities and gifts and your empathic gifts. And maybe some of you guys were even kind of taken advantage or kept small because, you know, of other people on your journey, but that is all ending. You're suddenly getting more, as you're healing yourself, more energetic awareness between yourself and others. And this could translate into many different situations. Even you and your twin flame, like, okay, this is their emotions, this is their energy, and this is mine. You're suddenly becoming more responsible for your own energy, your own frequency, and the healing that is happening there. And you're absorbing less. So in the past, when you were asleep, you didn't know all this. You were probably absorbing a lot of karma, karmic debris, energies from other people, okay? Because you're a kind person. Like you might have been, you know, a friend or a partner or whatever. You were, a lot of people were trying to lean on you, okay? And so you were picking up a lot of energy that was not your own. As an empath, you might have been just a little bit more open. That's okay. But sometimes that energy can be heavy, okay? It can weigh us down in life. We're not understanding. So you were making other people feel better, but you have a bad habit of allowing, this is going to tie in with the divine feminine side of things, allowing like karmic connections or friends to kind of feel better off your energy, and it kind of maybe left you feeling a little tired or zapped, or, you know, sitting there thinking about other people's problems. So you're getting more energetic awareness, and because of it, you're soaring to new levels. Like maybe, you know, you're still doing that role for people and listening to their problems and grievances, and okay, you know, you got these problems, but you're more detached from it in a good way. So you're still there for people and they're still using you to lean on if so, but you're a little bit more like, okay, I don't have to sit and take all this on. You know, you are, but you're doing it, you're becoming a better alchemist, I call it, transmuter, right? So you've been transmuting a lot of heavy energies and playing a lot of roles for different people. Welcome to Earth. But you're getting better at transmuting that energy and not carrying it with you so deeply, which is helping your energy and how you're showing up in a big way. So you're someone who's always been there and like been taking on a lot of problems. Now, this might translate into your twin flame situation of like, okay, well, you can be there for them, but they have certain lessons to do and things like that too. So you might be learning a little bit about energetic mastery during this time and how to show up a little bit differently within your relationships and within your connections so that you're not absorbing as much kind of psychically and spiritually. This is helping you to keep your vibe high like, and to be less bothered, we'll say, by some of this. Okay, I'm going on that note, but have a beautiful day. I have lots of twin flame healings up for today. You can do anything in my shop all the time anyways. If you need me, just go ahead and book me on my website, Needing a Twin Flame Reading. I have those on there too. Have a beautiful day.